Then today's topic will discuss about what is internet and also about its services, right? I have already sent you the PDF, but there are some, right? I have added some new content because like this is a tute. So it's keep adding the content time to time. So I have added some new stuff here also. So please look into that as well. Compare your note with the note that you can see in the screen. So the first thing is internet. As I said last day, internet is a network of network, or it is the world's largest public wide area network. World's largest. So that is the largest one, and that is public, owned by the general public, and it is wide area network. Wide area network means a network within different geographical areas. It connects different geographical areas. භූගෝලීයව එක එක පැති connect කරනවා විවිධ ප්‍රදේශ. So we call a wide area network. So it is known as network of networks, and it provides platform or the infrastructure. Infrastructure means basically facilities, right? Infrastructure facilities, I think you know. Roads are infrastructure. To the services like buses, cars, vans, roads are the infrastructure for these buses, vans, cars. So roads are the infrastructure. Similar to that. So this internet is the infrastructure. Internet is the infrastructure, and it provides a lot of services. Infrastructure means this just the platform, right? That just the connectivity. Let's think you have connected telephone lines. All connected telephone lines are there, but you can't take any call or nothing. So then it is useless. But let's say you want to call, but the connections are not there. Again, it is useless. So both are needed, right? The infrastructure is really needed, and also the services are needed. Just having infrastructure is not enough. Just having roads not enough if you don't have vehicles. So similar to that, just having infrastructure is not enough. You need infrastructure as well as the services. Both you need. Infrastructure as well as the services, you need both. So internet is the infrastructure and there are services. So let's discuss about that now. The first service is World Wide Web. The first service, you can update your node. If you have the node currently, you can think of updating this node, write down any new things. So services of the internet, the first thing is World Wide Web. So check your node. If this is not included in your node, in your tute, you can write down. But only few parts, I think that headings are there in the node, but some are missing. I know that because I have added recently. So then, so what World Wide Web provide? World Wide Web provide a lot of services. Example, so entertainment, searching, news, movies, social media, like services. So I think better you can like read from here. So because this is anyway Sinhala node. So let's read from here. Who has introduced World Wide Web? There's a person called Tim Berners-Lee. He's called father of web. Tim Berners-Lee, the father of web, he has introduced web in 1989. It's recent, right? It's not too old. 1989 means just 30 years back. So when he introduced web, people thought it will not be a popular service, but what has happened today? So everything is web. So first he has published his website in a public domain. Let's learn what is this public domain. I'll explain that. So he has published this in 1993. He has introduced or invented in 1989, but published for everyone in 1993 after that. So there are a lot of websites. So today, so there is a, say that today, so the information added to World Wide Web, an average person cannot learn within his or her life cycle. So remember, so think about the growth. Information added to the World Wide Web within a day, එක දවසකට add කරන information. So this average person cannot read all these articles within his or her life cycle. Think about the volume of information. It is massive. It has grown to exponent level. right? So this is the most popular and prominent service. Number one service of internet is World Wide Web, and it provides these facilities: entertainment, education, social networking, file sharing, communication, cloud computing, webmail, web-based emails, content management, management systems, e-commerce, e-education, news, a lot more, right? It provides all these services through websites. Actually, I would like to highlight one thing, that is this www uses an architecture. Internet has two architectures. Let's learn about that in the next spell. So one architecture is called client-server architecture. That is basically one server is serving, one server is providing the service, and many clients are simultaneously accessing that service. One server. It's like one teacher teaching many students. Similar to that, one server is providing the service, and many clients are receiving, accessing the service same time. So that is called client-server architecture. The other architecture is one-to-one architecture, face-to-face or peer-to-peer architecture. That is the second architecture. Actually, this www is client-server architecture, where Apache, IIS, Tomcat. So these are some examples. These servers can provide web server service, and you can consume it. We can consume it using Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Edge, Opera, Safari-like web browsers. These web browsers are called, so these are web browsers. These web browsers are called client software, right? So then, so these here, consuming software. Consuming software means you can say client software to access the service, right? So then in case if you don't know the proper link, if you don't know the location, still there is a service in the web that is called search engine. That is a special website which will allow you to search other websites. Google.com, for an example, is a special website which will allow you to search other websites. So please update. So there are more: MSN, Bing, Yahoo.com, Ask.com, Answers.com, DuckDuckGo.com. These are some other examples for search engines. So you need to understand this separately. Search engine is a website, right? Search engine is a website. But web browser is a software. Web browser is used to display any web page. Web browser එක ඕනම web page එකක් බලන්න පාවිච්චි කරන software එකක්. Web browser is a software which we use to look, which we use to access any web page. On the other hand, search engine is a software. It's a web-based software. Actually, search engine is a web-based software. It's a website. It will allow you to search resources in the web which you don't know how to access directly. So if you don't know the link, you can search it. Okay, please update the note if you have, like, if there is anything missing. So we are discussing about services of the internet. The first thing is the topmost service is www. Under that, we discuss about the inventor, Tim Berners-Lee, here to here. If there are anything new, please update your note quickly. Right, what we were discussing about the first service or the topmost service, that is World Wide Web. The second second service or the second main service is email. Actually, so when I call email, you know about some of the emails. That is basically this. You know about Gmail. You know about Gmail. You know about Yahoo Mail, Rocket Mail, Hotmail. Those are the mail services, email services that are familiar to you. But email is actually not that. So those are called web mail. Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Rocket Mail, Hotmail. These are called web mail. But email is independent service. Right. Independent means this, right? Independent service means, so it is basically, right? So it is also a service like web. The client is working on the client server architecture. There is a server, but there are different servers. So example for servers, send mail, list serve, Microsoft Exchange server. These are some examples for servers. Right? There are some examples for servers. So similar to that, there are examples clients also. So web web servers, web clients. Email email servers, email clients. In email also you have email servers, email clients. In web servers, web clients. In email servers, email client. Let me show one thing. This is Apple Mail, and I can configure my email directly to this Apple Mail software. This is not a web browser. This is email client. I can connect that to my email client. Email server can be connected to email client, and that is the nature. That is how normally we access emails. That is how normally we access emails. But the thing is, so even though we access emails in that way, now web is the most popular service now. Therefore, web provide easy interface where you can log in and access Gmail on demand. When you want, you can log in and access. But the different thing is here, if you configure a standard email, so it is available even offline. You can just go, you can read this. So you can read the emails. So even you are not connected to the internet, these emails are there for you. So it is like downloading messages. The web client, sorry, email client is downloading these messages. But the thing is, the web client, it is not downloading. When you log in, it will display. It is just accessing. But actual email service allow you to download emails, right? So that is called email. And webmail is accessing email using web browsers. මොකද මේක web client කෙනෙක් නේ පුතේ. Firefox කියන්නේ web client. Firefox is not email client, it's a web client. If you access email using Firefox, that is webmail. That is not the standard email, that is webmail. I hope you understood the difference. Standard email need to be accessed using this software, Eudora, Thunderbird, Outlook. You have Outlook in your computer, just check. Apple Mail, these are some software to access these email service. Okay, so you can update the note if anything missing, and also the format of email address. It is user add host. First indicate the username, then add mark, after that the host. Host means the domain name, where the website or where the service is there. So Dasun at jits.lk means Dasun is the username and jits.lk is the host service provider name. Okay, for the website name. So please update this as well. Right, the next services. So we learn about two services, email and internet. So those are the two services that we learn. The next is basically MS Team Live. So these are called video conferencing. Now we are using Zoom. Zoom is a video conferencing tool. So that is also, it's not a website. Even though it's not a website, we can access Zoom using video conferencing. So we can access internet using this Zoom and video conferencing facilities. MS Team, Skype are some other examples. Then file transfer services. File transfer service is another service. So this is not just uploading and downloading files, right? Sorry. So file transfer is something like this. Let me show one example. This is FileZilla. This is a client software which is used for file transferring. A client software which is used for file transferring. And so if you want, you can also try. So please download this FileZilla. It's only around 4 megabytes or 10 megabytes, which is less than 10 megabytes, I guess. So very small software. I'll give you a link. So please try to access this link. This is not a website. This is FTP site, right? This is FTP site. What you have to do is you have to paste that FTP URL here. No need to type any username, password. This is anonymous. Without username and password, you can connect. Then please connect, quick connect. And so that will connect you to this ftp.gnu.org. Actually, let me highlight. This side is my computer. This side, it shows the green side is my on computer. And then let me draw another one. The purple side one is the server, remote server. Actually, if I want, I can copy and paste here, welcome message, let's see. If I want, I can drag files from here to here. So that is possible. So I can click and drag, I can click download or edit. So all these things are possible. It's like accessing files directly without links. No links are there. Instead of the links, it will display the structure, folder structure of the remote site. This is my local site and this is the remote site. Actually, you cannot copy file from here to here because there are special instructions, restrictions. It will prevent. So if I try to overwrite, let's see here, critical file transfer error, permission denied. I can't write because I have access anonymous server. So it doesn't offer me the write-in facility. But when you host a website, when you host a website, they will give a hosting account. I'll show you, right? Hosting FTP account. For that account, you can write and read both. Writing and reading both are possible. I'll show you in the future. When you're hosting website, I'll show you this in the future. And I'll help you and I'll demonstrate, and also I'll let you connect to your FTP site using this so that we can do. Right? If you want to test, so you can just give a try. So there is a website called zerofees.net. So please go and create an account there. So that is a free one. And when you create here, you can use sign up now and create a free account. Once you create, you can get a web hosting free account as well as FTP free account. In that FTP free account, you can just try using FileZilla to log into that FTP free account and exchange files. That is possible. That is what FTP is. I hope it is clear. Okay. This instant messengers you already know. I don't want to explain that again because WhatsApp, Viber, email, these things are much familiar to you. So you know these topics and you know how to use these services. News groups, another service of internet. News groups is basically, it was there earlier, even before web. News groups started. Usenet news groups started even before web. Usenet news groups. It started in, you can see, started in, let's go to Wikipedia, I think 1970s. Is it? Actually, year is not mentioned here, right? You can see, you can go and read this article, which has more details, but I would like to use net. Here you can see 1979, even before web. Even before start web, Usenet news groups started. So that is basically when you join with these news groups, you can subscribe or you can join to the news group and you will automatically receive notifications when you want new person post. It's like currently actually it is included to this World Wide Web also. You can see the social media websites, you have following feature. When you follow, you can get the updates, and also subscribe feature in YouTube. You can see when you subscribe, you can get the updates. Now these news services, Usenet news groups or news services are integrated with them. Remote access. Another service. Remote access means without physically being, so okay, so let's write down under that, accessing a software or hardware without physically being in the specific, without physically being in the specific place where the service is offered. You don't want to physically go to that place to access. That is called remote access. Example, if you want to remotely access my computer, no need to come my home. You can do this. Now I have given the permission to Senali. Senali, you can try to move my mouse pointer here and there after accepting my request, right? So can you accept my request and try to move the mouse? Okay, seems she's having some issue of accepting. Okay, I'll give it to someone else. I'll give it to Linoja. So can you do the same? Can you accept my request and try to move the mouse pointer? Okay, I think you have accepted. Now you can move the mouse pointer to there. You can move the mouse pointer here and there, and you can work in my machine. That is called remote access, right? You can see this is not me, it is you. You can access my computer and you can work with my computer. That is remote access. No need to physically go to the location. No need to physically access the location. Instead of physically accepting or physically accessing the location, you can access the location remotely. Think about remote in air conditioner remote. You don't want to climb the ladder, so you can just access the air conditioner. Think about the TV. You don't want to go closer. Being at your seat, you can access it using remote controller. Similar to that, any remote content you can access without physically participating. Another example, this I'll give you this link. This is a website, but actually this website pointing to, so I have sent you the link, this website pointing to a remote camera. You can access that camera and you can move the camera even. So this is not in Sri Lanka, this is in some other country. And you can see the controllers and you can even move the camera. Here I'm moving. You can also do the same. You can also try to move, try to zoom out, zoom in. So these things are possible. Actually, what will happen? Physically, the camera in the particular location is moving, right? Physically. The camera rotate. When you move that, it is actually rotating. It's actually moving. This is live, right? This is live. It's happening live. It's live. You are doing it in a live way. So some cameras you need username and password. I'll tell you how to discover these cameras. You can go to Google and type in yes, you can search like this. So then you can find some results are pointing to the remote cameras. You can see this is also a camera. The first link. It's pointing to a camera. Let it load. But this camera, if you try to move, it will ask you username and password. Some cameras are protected, but some cameras you can move. Some cameras are not protected. Maybe they don't know whether to enable the password. That can be one case, or maybe purposely they have keep it for the public, to everyone to access. That can be the reason. So this is another one. So how to search? I have sent this. The Google. This is called Google Doc. Google Doc means a way of searching Google. So this is a Google Doc. This Google Doc will help you. Google Doc, right? Google Doc means a cheat sheet. We call Google Hacking Database. So which is a cheat sheet of search in Google, tips and tricks. So you can search with the Google Doc that I have sent. So with that you can discover remote. These are called remote IP cameras, not CCTV. Because CCTV, even though you can access, so direct control in CCTV using internet is not available. You can control through the DVR software. But here in these IP cameras, you can directly connect and control these cameras. So that is the advantage. Okay, finally, we have come to the 8th service. There are many other services, but I would like to highlight this service, and this has asked in your examination even. So please write down this part. I'll explain after that. First of all, please write down this highlighted part. Cloud computing. So this is new trend. This is coming under 2 lessons. One is like Internet and World Wide Web. The other thing is the last lesson. Under the last lesson also, this part comes. So you know the last lesson is innovative technology innovations, or the new technologies. New technologies. Under that lesson also, this part is there. So basically, cloud computing it's not new, but mostly now it's used everywhere. Cloud computing uses everywhere. There are 3 kind of cloud infrastructures that we need to learn. So this was asked in the examination. So SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. SaaS means software as a service, which is more common. So let's say you are using Google Docs. Actually, this is for the end users like you and me. So if you're using Google Docs, and if you're using Google Sheets, Photofia, I think Photofia, I would like to show you. This is like Photoshop, Photofia. And you can see it looks like it's similar to the Photoshop. So you no need to install this software. That is the idea, and that is the actually concept of cloud computing. In cloud computing, you don't want to install this software. Without installing the software, you can use it in your computer. That is the concept of cloud computing. Without installing the software, you can use it in your computer. We call that cloud computing. Okay, end users use software as a service, but most of the software developers, software engineers, they prefer, or maybe the intermediate level, not the beginning users, the intermediate users, they prefer to have PaaS, platform as a service. In this PaaS, in this platform as a service, in this PaaS platform, what is happening? Actually, not just the software. So they are not giving you end software. So they are giving you the platform. You can develop the software, or you can configure the software. Let's say you are given a server, environment with Windows, or you are given a server environment with Linux. The rest is up to you. You can set up any other application server or web server there, or you can set up some other software there, or you can start developing, you can start configuring. So that is up to you. So that means it is not the end software. It is the computer to you to work. You can work in that computer. You can start work in that computer, and you can use that infrastructure. You can use that platform to to develop, or to initiate, or to configure your requirement. So that is platform as a service. This is intermediate step. The more depth, advanced thing is infrastructure as a service. In this Pute, you are not even given the operating system. You are given the machine only. Just the, so you request, okay, I need this, like let's say you can request, I need 48 GB RAM. I need 16 core processor. So that machine will be given to you. Then installing software and configuring that, or installing networking software or servers, configuring network is totally up to you. So that is basically given for the system administrators or the system users or the network administrators. Actually, they use this infrastructure and they maintain or they program or they manage the infrastructure as they wish. So that is what they are doing. They manage the infrastructure. They like look into the infrastructure. They are configuring the infrastructure as they wish. That is the more in-depth level. Actually, if you look at this pyramid, we show SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS pyramid. So in the bottom layer, you have IaaS, that is infrastructure, the hardware networking infrastructure. Hardware network infrastructure, that is for the administrators. Then you have, for the software developers, platform as a service. So that is basically a platform you have to further develop, or you have to develop the application or configure the application on that platform. And SaaS is the software, it's finalized. You need to use, you are the user, that's all. SaaS තමයි ලේසි, මොයා user වෙනවා. හැබැයි PaaS එකේදී, in the PaaS you become the developer, and SaaS, IaaS, you become the administrator or the infrastructure manager. So that is the bottom level. So why you need these services? Why you need these services as cloud? Right? Why you need infrastructure as a cloud? Because these supercomputers, mainframe computers are so expensive. You cannot afford that. You can't buy that. It is so expensive. Here you can see the provider manage and you manage. So basically in the IaaS, you have to manage a lot. Operating system, applications, data, everything you have to manage. But in PaaS, you manage application and data only because you are the developers. You manage it, but everything is managed in the SaaS. This is another approach, another way of telling these three services. So why you need to hire this? Because I said that why you need to manage or why you need to hire infrastructure, because if you want to purchase, if you need to purchase a supercomputer or powerful mainframe computer, that is so expensive. You can't afford. That is really, really expensive. You can't afford that. So since that is expensive, since that is very, very expensive, you can't buy that. Therefore, you're thinking of renting that. Actually, what these vendors are doing, they are having fast and high performing supercomputers. They have fast and high performing supercomputers. They will rent it for your usage. For your task, they will rent it. You are paying that per usage, maybe per hour, per month, per certain amount of time, or per data. You are paying per usage for these infrastructures and platforms. Actually, SaaS everyone need, right? Not because SaaS we are using SaaS, not because we don't have money to buy computers. We use SaaS just because SaaS are easy. SaaS services are easy. You no need to go and purchase. No need to go and buy these software. No need to download and install. That hassle is solved. So you can immediately use the software. That is what SaaS is. So if you have any questions, you can ask. And more clarifications of the web browser and search engine is given here. Web browser is the software and search engine is a web-based application. Web browser is a software. It will load web pages, but search engine is, and it is a web application. It is a web application which is used to search other websites, right? So the bigger one is the web browser. The smaller one is, or which is loaded into that, is search engine. Okay. Then small comparison about the snail mail and email. This is also there in your note to take. So we use traditional mails for decades, but now people are shifting to electronic mails with user at domain. So we discussed that, but this has house number, odd name, etc. So it is delivered to a logical destination and it is sent from a logical destination. No need to have a physical destination. And to receive that, you need to be in the physical destination. To normal mail, if you want to receive, you need to be at home. But here it's not. This is very faster, efficient, and cost effective. Unfortunately, you can't deliver the goods using emails. And it need to be secured physically as well as it need physical space. That is for the snail mail. Right? Cannot be, it used to deliver the goods, need to be physically secured, maybe envelope and all. So these are for the physical security and also need physical space to store. Here it is not. Right? This is on demand, so it is logically secured. It cannot be used to deliver goods. Okay. So then a small thing. So that is this two architectures. I hope you have your note according to this two architectures. One, I said the client server architecture. Server is the service provider. It providing services simultaneously. So a lot of theories today. I know I'll finish a little earlier because I know it's boring to listen theories. But anyway, we have to do this. Before we begin the practical chapter, we need to finish this theory part, which is related to networking and internet, right? Server is the service provider. It is high powerful, high-end or high powerful machine. Means it has high capacity, high memory, high speed, etc. It is used to offer the service. In the other hand, service consumer or the client can be any machine which is ready to receive the service. Any machine, it can be powerful, it can be less powerful, anything, but ready to receive the service, and it uses client software to get the service. Both are connected using internet or network. So in the second architecture, that is face-to-face architecture, no specific server, no specific client. Instead of that, the participants can ad hocly send and receive the messages. The participants in the peer-to-peer or face-to-face architecture, both can send message, both can receive message. It is easy. Both can send, both can receive. It is easy. Anytime you can set up and start sending messages. Therefore, it is easy way of. Okay, if you don't have the note, I would like if you can write down. I think it's there in your computer. If not, please write down this soon. Server computer under the client server architecture, server and client computers. Under the peer-to-peer architecture, how it works face-to-face. So please write down that. In case if you don't have, but if you have the note, no need to write down. The next thing is domain name. So domain name is like the company name, right? It's kind of company name or organization name. It is a unique name given to any organization in the cyber world, in the internet. So if you want, for an example, let's say you need a one, let's say Situm need a domain. So Situm can go to either the Sri Lankan domain registry, that is called .lk domain registry. So you can just search .lk domain registry, that is domains.lk. And if you wish, you can search whether you can buy situm.lk. And when you search, it will give, okay, here situm.lk is available. Then you can purchase it. I said this about when we are discussing when we are discussing about ICANN, I said this. The domain name is the name, unique name given to any organization in the cyber world. Actually, this domain name is masking a public and static IP address. This domain name is masking a public and static IP address. So IP address, what is IP address? So let me make it simple and explain this. So IP version 4 address or Internet Protocol address is a unique address which is used to identify a network computer in a network or internet. Network එකක හෝ internet එකේ තියෙන network කරපු computer එකක්. Network එකේ හෝ internet වල තියෙන network කළ computer එකක් අඳුර ගන්න පාවිච්චි කරන address එක තමයි IP address එක කියලා කියන්නේ. So typical IP version 4 address has 32 bits. Here count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, altogether 32 bits. And 4 portions, 4 places, first place, second place, second octet, third octet, and fourth octet. So we call first octet, second octet, third octet, and fourth octet. Why? It is dotted octet. Dotted octet means each 8 you have a dot. After each 8 bits, you have a dot. First 8, a dot. The second 8, a dot. Third 8, a dot. Fourth 8, dot. So we call octet 1, octet 2, octet 3, octet 4. There are 4 octets. Altogether 32 bits, 4 portions, 4 places. So divide by dots. And it's a binary number. But it is represented, it is explained in decimal. 0 to decimal is anyway 0. No? So all zeros to decimal, it's 0. 0.0.0.0 is the decimal value. So let's say all ones. All ones. So how to convert binary to decimal? I hope you can remember. You have to add this. 1s, 2s, 4s, 8, 16, 32, 64, 1 to 8. You have to add these numbers. This is 1s, එකේ ගොඩවත්. 2s, දෙකේ ගොඩවත්. 4 ගොඩවත්. 4s, 8s, 16s, 32s, 64, 1 to 8. When you add all these together, you will get 255. That is the largest. The smallest is 0. The largest is 255. If any IP address, this is version 4, right? Remember, we don't have version 6. We need to learn version 6, but the thing is, we don't have version 6 calculations. For the examination, we have only version 4 calculations. So then IP address is a 32-bit 4 portion. Sthana 4ක් තියෙනවා, bit 32ක් තියෙනවා, dotted octet binary number. And it is between 0 to 255. We learn. All ones will be 255. When you add binary to decimal converter, 1s, 2s, 4s, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 8 is 15, 15 plus 16, 31, 31 plus 32 is 63, 63 plus 64 is 127, plus 228 is 255. Altogether it is 255. If an IP address is between 0 to 255, it's a valid IP. So this is valid, this is also valid, but this is invalid because it is showing some 300. 300 is out of range. The large will be 255. It is in between 0 and 255. So these are valid IPs, but this is not valid. Okay, what is public static IP address? Public means everybody knows. Okay, if you want to search your public IP, you can go to Google and ask, what is my IP? And it shows your public IP. This is your public IP. But this public IP is changing day by day. Maybe it can be static for some days, but it is changing. It is not static. It is public. Public means this is how internet recognizes us. Internet මාවඳුරගන්නේ මේ IP එකේ. ඒක ඇත්ත. එතකොට if I go and search using my mobile phone, still I can see the same IP. Let me search using my mobile phone. I'm getting, when I ask what is my IP, my mobile phone is telling you IP is 112, 134, 204, 240. Same නේද? 112යි 134යි 204යි 240 කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. That is same. Because it is assigned to my router. So I'm getting my connection. I'm getting internet connection from the router. මට internet connection එක ලැබෙන්නේ router එකේ. Therefore, so router's address is shared to my phone. Router's address is, that is how my phone sees me. That is how the external world see my phone. That is how the external world see my computer. Everything goes through the router. We call default gateway. Gateway. Gateway is the router. That is the gate that we are going on. So everybody in the world will see that gate. අපේ ගෙදර දොර විදියට දකින්න සමහරට අපේ තාප්පේ තියෙනවා නම් ගේට්ටුවක් හැමෝම කියන්නේ අර ගෙදරට යන්නේ උතනින් කියලා. So this is the entrance. So that is public knows that entrance only. Public doesn't know the rooms and room doors. So my mobile phone is one room, my laptop is another room, my desktop is another room. Likewise, several rooms can be there in my house. But everybody knows about the gate, the address which is in the gate. So that is common to here. So it gets my router's IP. But remember that this is public. Yes, this is how internet sees me. But that is not static. It is static. If you want to make it static, you need to tell SLT, hey, I need a static IP and you have to pay extra amount. Then SLT will send you a request to ICANN. ICANN will assign that IP to you. And you have to pay some amount to ICANN also. Actually, SLT is paying on behalf of you. And they are giving you static IP. What do you think? What is the advantage of having static IP? Public IP, we all know. We all need. Public IP එකක් නැත්නම් internet යන්න බෑ පුතේ. Internet යන්න නම් public IP එකක් ඕනමයි. Static කියන්නේ වෙනස් නොවන එක. Why we need static IP? What do you think? Why we need static IP? We need public IP, that is okay. That is acceptable. Because everyone need to know me. Everyone need to know who is this. Therefore, I need a public IP. Why I need static IP? Any idea? Situm? So why I need a static IP? Security is high in static IP and privacy is also high. Not actually that. Okay, so think about this. I'm running a shop. Let's say I'm running a bread shop. I have a bread shop. So if I have a proper static IP, if I have unchanging address, people can browse my shop. People can come and visit my shop and they can say, where shop එක තියෙන්නේ අතනනේ. In that address, that city. You go to Gampaha, you can see that shop. අර Gampaha පාලම ළඟන්න මෙහෙ හරිනේ තියෙන්නේ. Likewise, if my location is fixed, if my address is fixed, everybody can recognize me, everybody can spend that. Okay, let's say I'm running a mobile bread shop like Chunpan. Can you identify my location? Can I give a reliable service? Being a Chunpan, can I give a reliable service? So is it possible to get the service when you need? Or you have to wait till the Chunpan fellow? You have to wait till the Chunpan fellow and the horn neither. Horn එක වැදිලා Chunpan එනකන් වා ගේට්ටුව ළඟ ඉන්නවා. But you can't find the Chunpan fellow. ඔයාට ඕන වුණාම එකපාරටම Chunpanගෙන් ගන්නවා කියලා එළියට බහලා කියලා ගන්න බෑ. But if you know a shop, you can go and buy that. If you know a static or fixed location, you can go and buy that. That is the idea of this static IP. Static IP එකක් ඕන පුතේ. If you offer a service like a web server, if you offer a service like web, then you need static IP. Then only clients can access your place once and regularly. So it can clients can discover and also access regularly because you have static IP address. Actually, domains are assigned to this public static IP address. වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් අපි හිතමු නම් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක පොදු නම් එකක්. අපි හිතමුකෝ අර ඉස්සර තිබ්බ ටෙලිෆෝන් බොක්සස්. ඒ ටෙලිෆෝන් බොක්ස් එක නැත්නම් ඔෆිස් එකක පොදුවේ හැමෝම පාවිච්චි කරන නම් එක. You can't save that number no. නමක් දාලා සේව් කරන්න බෑනේ වාට ඒ නම් එක. මේක මෙයාගේ කියලා ඔෆිස් එකේ නම දාන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. හැබැයි නමක් දාලා සේව් කරන්න බැරි මේ මෙයාගේ කියලා. හැබැයි මේක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් if it is static and if it is known by public you can save with the name. So similar to that, domain names are assigned to public and static IP addresses. Why domain names? Because we can't remember the IP addresses. It is difficult to remember the IP addresses. These are numbers. The people, human, they are not good at remembering numbers. අපි එච්චර හොඳ නෑ පුතේ අපිට numbers මතක හිටින්නෙම නෑ. අපිට numbers මතක තියාගන්න ටිකක් අමාරුයි. It's very difficult to remember the numbers. Therefore, the names are given. Actually, to transfer, to transfer the name to number and number to name, or name domain to IP and IP to name. To transfer domain to IP and IP to domain, right? For that process, you have something called DNS, domain name system, that does the translation part. IP to domain, domain to IP. Okay, today's lesson we have discussed a lot of theories. We discussed about the cloud computing. We discussed about the domain name. Domain name is a unique name given to name given to a server, and server has public and static IP address. We learn about what is IP address, and we learn about the service which translate IP to this domain and domain to IP, that is called DNS. Okay, these are some examples for domains, right? Actually, ICANN is the place where assigning names and numbers, IP addresses and names begin from the ICANN, but there are resellers. I said GoDaddy, iPower, LK domain registry, which is handled by the Morato University. These are the people who resell. Who resell these domains. This domain has categories. Domain has top level domains like org, com, info, biz, mil, edu, gov, ac. These are top level domains. Top level domains, right? Com, info, biz, mil, ac, edu, these are top level, but there are subdomains too. Subdomains means top level com, domain name can google.com. Sub කියන්නේ ඒකෙත් යටතේ තියෙන එක. mail.google.com. This is domain name google.com. maps.google.com is the sub. google.com is the domain and com is the top level domain. Com කියන්නේ top level, google.com තමයි domain, and docs is the sub domain. In is the top level domain, my style is the domain, and this is the subdomain. And these top level domains can be country specific. .lk for Sri Lanka, in for India, pk for Pakistan, au for Australia, jp Japan, nz New Zealand. Likewise, the country specific domain names are also there. So we discussed a lot, right? And web hosting, IP addresses, we discussed that. Web hosting, I think we can discuss that next day, because otherwise it is a lot of theories, right? Next day we can start the practical lesson. So please be ready with the practical, be prepared with the computer. We'll do the practical as well as I'll finish the theoretical part, web hosting, and also we'll start the web hosting practical, and also start the web creating website practical. That will be done next day. And please remember that for the new year you have vacation next week. You don't have classes. Today 9th means 16th you don't have classes. So week after next week we'll meet with these remaining theory and the practical lesson. Till then, good night. See you soon.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Okay.